Welcome to the channel and welcome to the show. The Christians, they have one holy book. The Muslims, they have one holy book. Pagans, paganism and heathenry, very much like the Hindus in India, we have several books. We don't have one book that we just blindly believe and just cling on to. We're always in search of new perspectives. We're always in search of new flowers that grow on the tree that is paganism. And today I want to share with you some of these flowers that I found, and I hope you will like the way they look and like the way they smell. By the way, of course, I'm not talking about literal flowers, they're metaphorical flowers. You already saw the thumbnail. I'm going to talk about 5 books that I read in the past year that I think are really, really good. Now I want to kick things off right away. I'm going to start with The Daemon by Anthony Peake. I'll see if I can list all the books in the description so you can check them out. This book was recommended to me by Thomas Sheridan a long time ago. Online he talked about this book. I'm a big follower of his. What's it about? Well, we've been taught in school that you have a brain and that your brain consists of 2 halves, and one of these halves is very rational and the other half is more symbolical and is more involved with creativity. What if all of that was a lie? What if there's not one person inside your body? What if there are 2 persons inside your body? And these 2 persons each have its own brain. The word daemon comes from Greek spirit. It's your subconscious. And that's where the word demon comes from. We're supposed to be afraid of demons. We are afraid of our own daemon. That other person that is inside of our body and that can communicate with us only through imagery. It manifests itself to intuition and foresight and those dreams and those deja vu feelings that we all have from time to time. That's your daemon talking to you. This book goes in great detail, telling you which celebrities claim to have used their foresight and connection with their own daemon, their own spirit, their own subconscious to guide them through life. Me personally, I'm a big fan of American stand-up comedy, and there's one big American stand-up comic who used to be really big, Andrew Dice Clay. He used to make really inappropriate jokes. I'm a big fan of inappropriate jokes. But I saw him on a podcast, and he's one of those people who has this ability to know what is going to happen before it is going to happen. And that has always been the key to his global success. What I mean to say is that Andrew Dice Clay is in very close contact with his subconscious, with his daemon. And therefore he's able to make his life into a big success. This book talks about examples like that, but it also teaches you how to get in contact with your own daemon more. And therefore your own intuition. This is a book that, after I've read it, it changes something in how I view myself. And it changes something in how I view the world. And I can't go back to the old version. It's like this book reminds me of something that somehow me, or I should probably say my daemon, already knew. And it recognized it. So if you want to change your way you look at yourself in the world and get into more contact with your subconscious and that other spirit that resides inside us. By the way, these Greek philosophers that founded democracy, they talk about that daemon a lot. They were very in contact with their daemon. So, essential, life-changing, yes. Second book was recommended to me by Tina Kemp. If you don't already follow Tina K, she has a great Substack article. If you don't know the Substack website, you're missing out. The book is called by Praxis, a forn sidr primer. Now, when I saw this cover and when I read the title, I already knew this is going to be good. And it did not disappoint. I'm actually not through reading this. I'm halfway through, but I'm so enthusiastic that I want to include it in this video. There are people who have kind of like a bird's eye view. And the author of this book has a bird's eye view of paganism. He sees where paganism is right now. He sees what's good and he sees what's bad. He sees what could be better. But instead of just hovering over us and telling us this isn't good, he actually speaks from a place of love and insight, and he says this is what we can do to make this thing called paganism last and to make it grow in a good way. For instance, he talks about there are little groups popping up all over the place, even here in my own backyard, everywhere around the world. Old ways and old gods are returning, that's great, but there are a lot of people who go to these groups, but what they don't have at home is ritual practice. So he gives some very easily understandable examples that you can do to get the practice going for you and your family. Because what we need is families practicing and giving it to their children to make sure that this thing called paganism keeps on rolling and keeps on getting bigger. Because I believe there's lots of power in Europeans and native Europeans going back to their own faith. By the way, I'm not saying this is only for native Europeans. I think everybody. There's power in our ancestors and the ways of our ancestors. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. Power remains the same. You may or may not, we're going to the third book, by the way, this is the intro to the third book, think the videos I make on Nordic paganism and Germanic paganism are deep. If you think that, you're absolutely wrong. My videos are not deep. You know what's deep? This book is deep. This book, The Masks of Odin, which has recently been translated into Dutch. I have the Dutch version here. I'll see if I can link the English and the Dutch version. In English, of course, it's called Masks of Odin by Elsa Britta Tigneschel. I'm mispronouncing that. Tigenel. No disrespect. It's a very thick book and it goes into great lengths understanding and explaining the symbolism in the Norse myths. It goes deeper in explaining the symbolism of the Norse books than any book that I have ever encountered. By the way, who introduced me to this book is another one of my teachers, David Blackboard Lokasert. He is the husband of Naomi Mirklida, my sidr teacher. It goes incredibly deep. It not only goes incredibly deep, it connects it to other more, let's say, the Indo-European route to other Hindu traditions, and it makes it all whole again. If you want to have your third eye squeegeed right open so you can see everything when it comes to Norse mythology, read this book. It's shocking. I'm not book deep, that book is deep. Okay, we got 2 more books left. These are great introductionary books. If you're attracted to Freya, and let's be honest, who wouldn't be attracted to Freya? Wink, wink. This is a great book to start. Book is called Freya, Pagan Portals by Morgan Daimler. Is this book going to squeegee your third eye open and make you question your place in the universe and question reality? No, it will not. But if you're interested in Freya and you want a place where everything that is written in official sources is put in one book with some practical examples of how to start your worship or how your relationship to the goddess of love and war, this is the book. Great stuff. Hail Freya. Now the last one is actually, it's a similar book than the last book, but it's also a very different book. This was a good book on how to start for Freya, but what if you feel a connection to Loki, the god of outcasts, god of chaos, god of trickery? Do you think that there's a book that will collect all the info on this god and will simply tell you step by step how to do it? Of course not. He is the god of chaos and trickery. He can't be caught in a mere book. He can't be just watered down into little lists. He isn't about lists. That's far too much order for the god of chaos. Now what you get is this. Joan M. Harris, The Gospel of Loki. Sounds good? It's even better. This is Norse mythology, just the Nordic myths. But it's told through the eyes of Loki. So you really you travel inside of Loki. And Loki tells you everything that happens in Norse mythology, but from his perspective. With a lot of jokes, a lot of insults, a lot of anger. And it really, when it comes to trickery and chaos, this is how you get to know trickery and chaos. You travel inside the trickery of chaos. So if you like Loki, I highly recommend this one. By the way, this has a follow-up book. This is called Gospel of Loki. Then the second one is called Testament of Loki, which I also bought because I like this. But this one, by the gods, don't order this. This is a book about Thor, Odin, and Loki being reincarnated as teenage girls in an American high school. Yes, it's that bad. And I was actually like, I thought maybe I'm gonna get something good out of this. I will plow through this book and I will find something. So I plowed through the whole book, got absolutely nothing. So please, don't order the follow-up book. Order Gospel of Loki, not the Testament of Loki. Okay? If you appreciate content, don't be shy. Hit that thumbs up button. And I'll see you in a week or two. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. Ga met de goden, go with the gods. I'll see you next week.